All right. Why don't you guys just come up, stand up here? Yeah, if that's okay. I didn't really prepare much here. I just know my. Where's the president, the general? He's always so humble. Come on up, General.
I guess that's me, right?
And you get up here, Rod and Andy, my two favorite generals.
Well, Andy's a real general.
Yeah. I suppose when you become president, that's I don't know. Scott, what do you? I don't know. Well, thank you. Thank you all for tuning in for the North Dakota media that are on this. You're getting one of the better stories of the week, I assure you. And it's just my great honor to be able to introduce some friends, both to the Capitol, but more importantly, to introduce them to you all. And just so you know, we're going to have a moment here, an opportunity for you to ask questions virtually after the opening comments and the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between the University of North Dakota and Voyager. And I'll let each of them tell you a little bit about their assets and what they're all about. But I will say this. When I became a senator and was able to be put on the Senate Armed Services Committee, I thought that I had achieved all that a kid from Kindred could ever achieve. And I knew why I wanted to be on the Armed Services Committee. I wanted to be on the Armed Services Committee because North Dakota had some pretty important assets as I saw the future of warfighting, the future of defending freedom in the United States and around the world. And I like being part of the future. I will say that what's behind me is somewhat important. The rear view mirror is important. Legacy matters. But the day that the White House called me as a freshman member of the Senate Armed Services Committee and asked if I'd be willing to carry the ball to create a Space Force, I thought they must have gotten the wrong number. I thought about it for about 30 seconds and thought, this is the craziest idea in the world. And then I thought about it for 30 more and said, but I do have UND. Right? You got to have something to bring to the table, right? And I thought, I do have UND and this world-class aerospace school and this wonderful flight school and, people that innovate with great knowledge and experience, and what they don't know, they figure out. And I thought, what the heck? Why not? Why not? And I also remember my very first guest that I brought to the University of North Dakota was not a warfighter. Well, he had been, but it was the NASA administrator, Jim Bridenstine, who was a classmate of mine in the House of Representatives, and he came and visited the labs. He was very familiar, of course, with the University of North Dakota, and that began a long lineup of space leaders that came to the University of North Dakota with me and have since, and now they don't even invite me anymore. They just show up, and that's the way it's supposed to be, and that's the way I love it. However, I want to get back to the Administrator Bridenstine because he introduced me to Matt the very first time, actually, and his interest in space was particularly, has been very interesting even since being NASA administrator. But he was familiar with the spacesuit contract, of course. He was familiar with the school itself. He was familiar with some of the sciences that they were teaching and that they excel at. And I remember, Andy, this was just as you were, I think, had been appointed but not yet hired, perhaps, something like that. Around here we call it confirmation. But anyway, but I remember him doing a town hall with the students. And I just remember sort of the magic of that and exposing them to real practical applications of the things that they were learning in theory. And of course, UND's always had a hands-on approach to educating, so not a huge surprise. And then, as I said, we started bringing more and more of the warfighters. And I won't go through the long list of generals and chiefs and whatnot. But I have to tell you guys, and I think you maybe have heard me say this before, what excites me the most about relationship building, which is what I think I do. People always say that one of the most powerful things about a senator is their ability to convene. And I've really learned that. It's way easier than studying charts and economics and legislation. Our National Defense Authorization Act text finally came out today. It's over 3,000 pages. So I focus on relationship building. But the relationships I've enjoyed, probably that I take the most satisfaction from, are when I bring business people to the school. And when I show investors the community and expose them to an incredible workforce, an incredible work training, leadership institution like the University of Mary, and I don't say that to diminish at all what they do. That very high-end, high-level research institution is training workers for the future. And the juxtaposition of people who hire, people who invest, people who build things, and students and researchers and workers, to me, is the most exciting part of all of this. So whether it's Palmer Luckey, from Anduril, I think about Tim Hughes from SpaceX, who up until I brought Palmer was the biggest star to come with me to Grand Forks. Greg Weiler from eSpace. I just had dinner last week, if you can imagine, with Greg Weiler and President Kagame of Rwanda, because they're friends, and the president was here to sign the peace deal with the DRC and President Trump, and it's very exciting. But today is Voyager Day. Matt, today's Voyager Day, and we're just thrilled to be able to. I'm thrilled to be able to bring the University of North Dakota officials, of course, President Armacost, Scott Snyder, the Vice President, and Voyager's leadership as well here because they're going to sign a little memorandum of understanding, and it's little in the sense that it's not 3,000 pages, but it's significant in the sense of what it can actually be and what it can become, both for the University of North Dakota and for Voyager. And I'm going to let Andy speak to it now and start the process of signing the memorandum of understanding, describing it, and then we'll have Matt do the same on behalf of Voyager, and then we'll take some questions. Is that fair enough? Andy Armacost. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Senator Kramer. And all I can say is, since the day I've stepped on campus, there's been no greater supporter of our mission to educate our students and to benefit the state of North Dakota, but also to make a major contribution to the nation. And so as we move and embark on this journey with Voyager Technologies, and it's just, today represents something so vital and so important for the university. So thank you, Senator. And I also want to thank Matt Kuda for his leadership as the founder, co-founder, and president of Voyager Technologies, and an old colleague of mine back through our connections at the Air Force Academy. It's great to see you again and to join together once again to take this relationship in great directions. So thank you to you and your team and my team, Scott Snyder and Rod Lewis. Thanks for putting everything together. I have to thank Voyager's Jeff Manber for your visits to Grand Forks and for the great vision that you've had as well. So thanks all for being here. And certainly the alliance that we're creating through this agreement enhances the strengths of Voyager and the strengths of the University of North Dakota. And our state has been so gracious. The state legislature has enabled us through generous funding to build our portfolio in national security related research. And so this partnership allows us to take it to new levels and to contribute in meaningful ways to what Voyager Technologies is developing. And Senator, as you well know, UND has a longstanding commitment to the study and deployment of systems related to human spaceflight, space suit design, the manufacturing of spacesuits, space agriculture, space operations and domain awareness, and satellite design. And these things contribute directly to one element of the work that Voyager Technologies does so well, and that's the part known as Star Lab and Voyager Space. And in addition, our commitment to the study of and the research of areas in national security go beyond the domain of space, including unmanned aircraft, counter-drone work, autonomy, artificial intelligence, advanced communications, cybersecurity, and advanced materials. And all of these areas provide additional avenues of potential cooperation and collaboration with Voyager. And we certainly look forward to Voyager's presence in Grand Forks. It's already started, and we're looking forward to how that continues to grow and to push the frontiers of science and research and discovery. And we're grateful, again, to the leadership team at Voyager Technologies for all that you've done to make this alliance happen. And so as we look forward to national security and space, literally the sky's the limit. Space is the limit, to infinity and beyond. Whatever metaphor we want to choose, there's just so much opportunity that we really look forward to bringing that here to Grand Forks and to make national level contributions in the world of space and national security. So again, kudos to the team at Voyager. I'm really looking forward to your comments because this is where the money is. This is where, not literally the money, this is where the impact is through cooperations with industry partners and to bring university perspectives to the amazing work of a company like Voyager Technologies. We're so proud to be part of this relationship. So Matt, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Do we want Andy to sign the MOU now, or do you want to wait for Matt to be done and then do it? What's the plan? Rod, you're the boss.
I'd rather do it with Matt.
Yeah, I think that makes more sense too. Okay, Matt Kuda. So obviously, Matt and his team have been involved in space for a while now, and they've invested heavily in a number of ventures. And he's going to tell you about the big one here that I think the University of North Dakota is perfectly suited to contribute to. By contribute, I mean contribute intellectual assets, contribute research development to, and certainly a lot of enthusiasm and energy to it. And I just love what's happening between Voyager and the University of North Dakota. So I give you Matt Kuda.
Thank you. Well, Senator, first I'd like to thank you for your vision. Over the last many years, we know you've really gotten out in front of the innovation curve for things like SCIFs, infrastructure, having things that can be contributed in kind to UND to really serve as services and facilities for the students and local employment populace to actually use. And now we're at the point where we can now transition some of that infrastructure into creating jobs and intellectual property for UND. So this is the start of a multi-decade partnership. Andy, I think, for someone who graduated with the Air Force Academy with a 3.0 GPA, I had the opportunity to work with Andy when he was the dean at the Air Force Academy. And oftentimes I was in the room thinking, how did I end up in this room with the dean of the Air Force Academy? But here we are again 10 years later, and we're signing this joint investment agreement where Voyager and University of North Dakota are going to be contributing significant resources to the development of some very, very exciting assets. So we're really focused on 3 areas of collaboration. The first one being national security. Voyager Technologies, we are currently on multiple missile weapons rocket programs to include different parts of the Golden Dome, to include parts of offensive and defensive types of systems. These are programs of record all the way to brand new developmental programs. They're not going away, and these are things that are really here to defend our way of life. These are the largest, most important part of Voyager as we sit today. And I think knowing the stuff that North Dakota is doing with SDA and whatnot, these are areas that Voyager is currently actively working on and looks forward to continue to expand. AI, machine learning, the human software interface, these are areas where Voyager is investing heavily right now through either M&A acquisition targets or organic investments in the order of tens of millions to hundreds of millions of dollars. And I see a very bright future. We can have some of that there in North Dakota on the software side, creating jobs and really having an open source where you can really get that innovation in an academic setting. We have the second piece here with Voyager is our Vista Science Park. So Voyager currently is building a network of science parks around the world, both in Europe, Asia, and of course headquartered here in the United States. University of North Dakota being a cornerstone partner of that with our science park. And if you think about what a science park is, think of it as a facility, a capability where universities, companies, customers, whatever they are, can send research and development to a science park location. Think of it almost like as a modular work facility, a WeWork, if you will, for research and development, where you get all of these innovators in a single location, and they're doing science and they're doing innovation. And then they can package it all that up and fly it up to the space station, where they can then test it in a microgravity laboratory environment. The only laboratory that exists of that, unless you're going to use the Chinese space station, which we know we're not going to use that. And then once you figure out and what the science does, things that can only happen in a microgravity laboratory environment. Then, if necessary, we'll package it back up, we'll downmass it, fly it back to Earth, then we'll see what happened, and we'll debrief, and we'll learn from it. Life science, pharmaceuticals, connective tissue growth, all these different types of things are what's being enabled here through the Vista Science Park and the Cornerstone partnership we have with North Dakota. And this is really, really exciting for not just North Dakota and Voyager, but for the country. And then lastly, as you mentioned, Senator Kramer, Starlab, I'll spend a few minutes here on Starlab. This is the replacement for the International Space Station. So the ISS is going to be deorbited around 2030. It's getting old, it's about 25 years old, and it's time to replace it. In parallel, the Chinese have put up the Tiangong space station. It's a brand new space station. It's been up in orbit for about 2 years. So Starlab, we've been on this for about 4 years now. We have a public-private partnership with NASA and the United States government. And the Starlab space station, which is what we're building, is the same size as the Chinese space station, and it has more science capacity than the Chinese space station, and it has equivalent science capacity as the ISS does today. We're the only space station company that has that. And as we put Starlab into space around 2029 at the end of the decade, this is a partnership where the stuff that we're doing in North Dakota, whether it's the buoyancy lab, the research and development, this is going to be a multi-decade asset that's in space. That's not, sometimes I tell people, don't think think of it as a space station. Pretend I never said that word. Think of it as a demonstration of sovereignty in space. This is an American extension of geopolitics in lower Earth orbit. And unless we're going to put American astronauts on a Chinese space station, Starlab has to work. And we definitely would like to host North Dakota. You, Senator Kramer, we have a full-scale mock-up at Johnson Space Center in Houston. This thing is massive. It is a giant space station, and we'd love to have you guys come down and visit as well.
For sure.
With that, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I think at this point we'll do it. Yeah, very, very good. We'll do a signing of the memorandum of understanding and get some video and pictures of that, and then we'll come back to the podium and take some questions. Are you guys ready to do that? Yep. Sitting right here. And, so many thoughts are racing through my mind as you guys are talking. Yeah, I know that's your worst fear.
I'm a righty. I'm a lefty. So we're great.
Wow!
We can actually sign
I
at the same
love
time.
when a plan
Like,
comes
we'll be
together.
the first ever.
Yeah.
So you're signing up here, and I'm signing down here.
Down here.
You're up here. The one that says Matt.
See, that's the dean talking there.
Look at that. They can do it at the same time, a lefty and a righty.
Teamwork. There we go.
Teamwork makes the dream work,
Thank
right?
you so much.
Thanks.
Really appreciate it.
So one of the things that came to mind, Matt, while you were talking was, and I think about this a lot when I think about UND's contribution to all of this, the fact that they have a law school, and it's funny. People ask me sometimes about space law, and there is a little, right? But it's all obviously also an emerging expertise. You talked about the life sciences and obviously medicine, and the University of North Dakota has an outstanding medical school as well. And there's so many good reasons why this makes perfect sense, and probably makes sense in ways that we haven't even, or that maybe you haven't even thought about, right, Scott? And then I do want to say before we open it up too, Rod Lewis, I called him earlier the glue between all of us. Rod, of course, was the commander when he was a colonel, the commander at the Grand Forks Air Force Base. That's how we got to know him, and I got to know him really well, and appreciated your leadership so much there. And it's just so fun to have you part of the team, General, now, and to see you doing for Grand Forks, continuing your service to them. And Scott Snyder, thank you for everything you do. You're the guy behind all of the business activity that's going on, and we really appreciate all of that. Okay, with that, let's open up the Zoom if there are any questions. And I know you've all been very thorough, but you might want to. There might be something you haven't thought of.
All right, so I'll ask the lady Otto to go ahead and ask her question.
Okay.
She's from the Grand Forks Herald.
Okay. Yep. Question from the Grand Forks Herald. We're not hearing it.
Okay, so she typed it. She
Okay,
said,
that's what I was wondering.
The one thing I can think of is what this partnership could mean for student opportunities.
Okay, that is sort of the first question you think about, right? When you think about a university, the University of North Dakota is first and foremost an education institution, and we talk a lot about the business thing. So Andy, maybe you want to take the first shot at that. I've heard him answer this question in several contexts.
Great.
Yeah.
Let me thank Delaney for the great question. Anytime you can bring a powerhouse like Voyager to our campus, to our community, there are huge opportunities for students to be involved, whether it's in capstone projects, internships, potential employment opportunities, research projects. The list goes on. And as a university, our fundamental obligation is to the learning of our students. And so when we can partner both as a university with an amazing industry partner like Voyager, as the senator said, magic happens. And so we're excited for all of these opportunities for those students.
The only thing I would add to what Andy said is it's the full life cycle from internships. We have an intern program at Voyager through even sometimes some of the interns, we never force them to, of course, but if they say, hey, like, can I actually stay on during the semester? And like, as long as you're going to pass your courses, you're more than welcome to stay on. And then obviously post graduation from UND, there's obviously job opportunities within Voyager on their national security side. If you're a scientist, there could be research and development, Vista Science Park, all the way to, if you're more of a space or space station person. So it kind of spans the gamut of employment.
So let me give you the dad perspective, Delaney, a little bit on this, because everything they've described is exactly right on. But if you're a junior in high school and you start thinking about where you want to go to college, or if you want to go to college, and you look at the University of North Dakota and you go, one thing about that place, they do some really cool stuff, and you're pretty marketable if you get a degree from there. And I think that at the very front end of it, the University of North Dakota becomes an attraction for teenagers looking for the next phase of their life. And so it's all good. It's all good. Another question?
Okay, so the next question is from Joe Banish from UND Today. What role will this partnership play with the Grand Forks Air Force Base and Grand Sky?
Okay, so Joe's question is what part will this relationship play in the Grand Forks Air Force Base and Grand Sky? And I call that the two more legs of the ecosystem. But I'll let Joe, Matt go with that.
Yeah, so, and as far as this partnership goes, obviously it's with UND and Voyager, but as we think about some of the national security work Voyager is doing, and particularly on SDA and other places, I see a scenario where we're doing joint facilities is probably a big one. You think of like SCIFs and things of that nature. Those are conversations that have already actually begun, so we look forward to continuing to push that forward.
So, two acronyms. SDA is the Space Development Agency, and a couple years ago they had chosen Grand Forks Air Force Base as one of their 2 operations centers nationally. And those SCIFs are classified facilities where you can do a kind of upper-end classified work to support national security research and study. And so anytime you have such strong partners already built into a community, so all of the industry partners that already exist at Grand Sky and in our community, and you can link them through the university to a company like Voyager, just fabulous things can happen, and it really opens up an aperture for shared research and shared discovery on the tough problems that face our nation.
Joe, I might just add, as a member of the Armed Services Committee, to what these guys have said. So Space Development Agency, the other A we haven't talked about is the Missile Defense Agency that is a big part of Golden Dome, which is, again, one of your partners, I know. As we think about how we protect the United States of America, the North American continent, from modern advanced weapon systems like hypersonic missiles and other things, obviously it starts with knowledge of what's out there. And, the University of North Dakota, I don't think we've said this yet, but the University of North Dakota was the first academic partner with the Space Force. So while we start the Space Force not so long ago, very recently, it seems like last week, UND became the first educational partner with them. So all of this, I used the word ecosystem earlier, all of this is part of that same ecosystem that one relationship just adds to another, where pretty soon 1 + 1 equals more than 2. Anybody else? And any other questions?
That's all I have.
That's all of them. Anybody wrap up? If not, we'll look forward to, to big events as we get back. We're going to take a picture?
We're gonna take a picture.
Okay, Rod. Oh, yeah, look at this.
It's already signed and ready.
Look at this, the picture, it's now,
already
it
framed.
went from a contract to an
Do we
from
wanna-
an MOU.
does this
Of
move?
course, he's always doing work. It does move. It's still under warranty. This is only the second time it's been used. I was told that.
Yes?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Should put it on wheels, motorize it.
Well, yeah. See, that would be the first project. But this went from being a memorandum of understanding to being a plaque. Yeah.
All right, so everyone look here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Got it.
Awesome.
Awesome.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Senator,
Very
thanks so much.
fun.
Yeah,
Nice
it's great to
place.
see you.
Oh, it's great to see you. Thanks for coming out here on purpose. I always say Washington D.C. is a great place to visit. All right. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
May I get a picture with this?
Yes, please. I'd be honored. Just you and me.
Thank you.
We've done it before. Yeah, we've done it before. This is good stuff. Yeah.